Hi, Jonathan. Congratulations on the win. Okay, my question for you is from the start of this year until the World Cup commenced, Afghanistan's top five didn't really have that many impressive numbers. Um, Ibrahim Zadran's average of 47.8 was the highest, and the next best was 34 and odd. So now, with 650 plus scores in consecutive games, big partnerships, what has led about this transformation?
Well, I think the this we've been working really hard at our batting and doing the basics. I know it's very cliche, but the way that we train, the things, the way we think about our cricket, certainly when batting, the way that we accept responsibility at times as well. I think you're starting to see hopefully the not the penny drop, but we're starting to see also the confidence in the players in their own ability. There's such an amount of talent, and just given a bit of structure or given a bit of a game plan, understanding what makes them the best players that they can be, uh, tactically wise, but also the way that they train and they think about themselves and the way that they think about training and how they go about it. Um, and so when it comes to match day, it's not just sort of rock up and it's left to luck. It's sort of, um, no, I'm here and I'm in good form and I'm ready to play and I deserve to score runs. And I think hopefully we're seeing that and the guys can take this from this tournament and take it also into the next important games coming up.
And how about those whiteboard targets? You were well ahead this time when the match got over. So your thoughts on that? And how do those targets work when you're batting first?
Well, I think when it's batting first is a little bit different. I think it's more a case of communication and the targets will change. When it's chasing, the target obviously never changes unless it's stuck with Lewis, obviously. So there's a bit more focus with regards to breaking it down into smaller targets. But sometimes, certainly like the Pakistan game, chasing 280 and you're starting on naught, it's a long way away. But if you break it down, it seems a lot more manageable. So those sorts of things, little things, is, motivating the players and keeping them in touch with where we want to be. And it's also a feel good factor. If you know you're on the right track, it's also a nice feeling as well. But for batting first, obviously you see how you go. Every most games is over 300 as your average. So we don't want to limit the guys on what they can do batting first. We want them to assess the conditions and make sure we go out there and get as many as we can. So it just worked out that we chased today.
Hi. Uh, you opted to bowl first today on a wicket which is known to support batters more than the bowlers. Getting comfortable with the idea of chasing now, and how do you look at it? The two successful chases, how do you look at it going forward in the tournament?
Well, I think you got to look at the conditions and you got to look at the pitch and what suits our team. I think for our spinners, always to bowl with the dry ball is always going to be crucial and getting a bit of turn. We saw the way Noor bowled um, last game and the wickets he got. So we're very, very lucky that we got, options to be able to select for different conditions. And but also different conditions when it comes to weather, and the effect that the weather has on, the pitch and the outfield. So, um, I'm under, nobody's got 100 yet, so that's the next challenge. Someone accepting responsibility and batting for a longer period of time and make sure we get hundreds. Because you see a lot of hundreds scored in the tournament. If we want to, that's the next sort of frontier, the next barrack. Gobaz has scored a few hundreds recently. Um, and Ibrahim, it's about the middle order, 3, 4, 5, 6, being able to score hundreds as well. So that's the next challenge, and I have absolutely no doubt that the players will be able to, um, in the future, and hopefully it starts. Hopefully that starts next game.
Hi, Trotty. Just in terms of the psychology of chasing, I mean, you've mentioned about your whiteboard and the tactics there, but we've seen with a team like South Africa, for example, who can bat so strongly up front, and
Mm.
then, sometimes the chasing, it just gets in your head. Like, what sort of mental work do you have to do, if any, to just get players ready to chase?
Well, I think in this day and age, my generation or generation before me, I think with coaching players, you're always coaching them to expand their games and push the boundaries with regards to how quickly they can score. I think with a side like we are, um, you know, growing up having played T20, it's actually almost the other way around, where just, we saw two in batters there in the last 10 overs and how quickly we scored. When we scored 40 odd runs in 5 overs in the last 10. So I can't remember exactly what the stats are, but it was close enough to that. Um, so those sorts of things, those positive messages, take responsibility when you're in the middle. Make sure you in, the last 10 overs, and it's amazing how quickly you can score by just playing good cricket shots. And that's, I think, you know, what we have is, very talented T20 players. And again, giving them a bit of, it's okay to go at 6 and 7 and over. You don't have to go at 15, 16 and over. So, um, and at times they do. Naturally, they score that quickly anyway. So it's really exciting to see, and I'm really chuffed for the guys in the change room, and it's a great feeling for for all the other coaches as well, to come to World Cup and be playing some nice cricket.
If I can ask about the support staff that's been preparing them for the way they're delivering right now and executing, the mix that you have of some international staff who haven't even been to the country, including yourself, and then a couple assistants that you have who have been pillars of the Afghan cricket history. In terms of the way that mix has helped prepare them and communicate with them and sort of build on the story of the Afghan cricket, how helpful has that been in reaching this moment?
Well, I think it's important, you get the blend right and the combination, but also the characters have got to be, the right characters for the dressing room. So that's the most important thing with regards to coaching and players as well. Creating and breeding the right players and having the right culture that creates players that can perform under pressure. So it's a mixture of, you know, putting the players, through their paces of training, making sure that they're ready for a match and training really hard, and so that playing the match can sometimes feel a little bit easier than practice. We make it a bit tougher. So certainly we, under no illusions, we need to keep working at our fielding and get our catching right, and also, there's other stages like today where we saw how we're taking wickets through the middle. I think sometimes we can continue to do that a little bit better, and I thought we got the field placing, pretty spot on today. So there's always little areas to work on that all the coaches help with, going to the mixing pot. And, we have meetings now and again, but it's also not just about communications, it's the relationships with the players and also the language, and the communicating that. And um, as a management, it's important that you also developing, local coaches, Afghan coaches as well. So getting that mixture and that combination of who's ready to coach the international stage, so they can take the lesson to Afghanistan and help grow and nurture the players coming through. So that's what I'm always, for, and getting that combination right.
Hey, so talking about Umarzai, given that he's been improving game after game
Who's
in Azmatullah Umarzai,
Yeah.
so since we've seen him improving game after game in both facets of play, are there any conversations about giving him the new ball at some stage?
Well, yeah, I had that chat in a previous game. I'm not going to say which game, and I thought it would be a good time, but we didn't go with it. But I thought he bowled really well today. His first two overs went for 3 runs. Picked up an important wicket as well, breakthrough. I think he's a fantastic player. I think as far as talent goes, he works really hard. He's a fit boy, a good athlete, and catches well. So I think for him, sky's the limit. We got some really talented young players, and it's really exciting to see. And that's what he wants to do in the game. I think he's got that type of character as well. And whenever you see a guy like him do well, it always makes you feel good because you're so happy for him, and he's so chuffed with, to be able to hit the winning run. So Afghanistan will mean the world to him. Would have been nice if it wasn't a chance, but I'll be mentioning that to him later. But I thought of the way that he played, and a natural striker of the cricket ball, I haven't seen many better. So yeah, really happy he's in our side.
Coach, going back to the batting group bit, you spoke about making them realize to own up and the transformation from T20s to ODIs. Saying all this is actually one thing, and delivering the same at the biggest stage is another. I'm not asking you to reveal the trade secret, but if you can just elaborate on how actually you made it happen. What is that one thing that has actually worked with the batting group, if at all you can pinpoint on?
Well, there are a lot of things. I think for me, it's about creating a culture at training where the players feel like they can grow and develop their technique, but also the mental side of the game. As we know, cricket's such a mental game. So I try and create with the other coaches all the time. How can we make the practice better or tougher for them so that when it comes to playing the game, it feels similar. How can we recreate the pressure of a match? And there are times where you need to take your foot off a little bit and sort of build their confidence. But it's again, if I always feel if you walk out of a tough net having played really well, that gives you more confidence than somebody throwing you a few half volleys or a few cut shots. I think the players, and I hope that they realize the strides they've made and in these matches, but also there's still extra room to be done, with bat, ball, and in the field. So there's still 3 games to go, but um, we'll certainly enjoy tonight's victory against a very good Sri Lankan side who, recently won the T20 Asia Cup. They were in the final of the Asia Cup. So really happy, and we move on to Lucknow tomorrow.
Hello, coach. First of all, Ajay Jadeja said this before Afghanistan's match against India that they've been playing just for 20 years. Other teams are playing for 100 years, and look at them right now. In this World Cup alone, you have beaten 3 sets that are previous champions. Since start of the World Cup for you, how much of a growth that you have seen in this team um, that probably take forward the 20 years of the foundation that has happened for this team?
Well, I think you always see teams who sort of start progressing, but it's just getting over the line and the confidence of winning. We've been so close. The Asia Cup, we got eliminated in, very unfortunate circumstances. We were so close. We chased down that in 37 overs, or 290 in 37 overs almost against Sri Lanka. And before that, we played a series against Pakistan where we should have won, a few games there. So we've been so close. And I remember saying before the World Cup, we just got to win a few close games and just get that belief, but also the belief in themselves as a player, but also belief in their methods as individuals, but also as a team, all 11 out on the field. So, really chuffed, but it's something we've got to look after. Netherlands is our next game. They've played really well so far, and it's going to be a good, tough game against them. So, every game from here on in it's a World Cup. It is tough. All games are tough, no matter who you play against. So, looking forward to the flight tomorrow and preparing for the Netherlands.
Just to follow up on this one, just a little bit. Does it, when you look at it in a way that you have defeated 3 sides that have won World Cup before, does it weigh on, or is it like a proud moment, or it's just another game in the World Cup for the team?
I think so. You always take the positives from it. You take it and keep it for when you under pressure. The matches, the way that we've played against Pakistan, the way we've played tonight, with the bat, but also then defending against England, at Delhi. So with bat and ball, take the confidence from those. So no matter what we're doing, whether it's batting or bowling first, we take a lot of confidence from that. But it's important that we, again, every game, and that's the beauty of cricket. And I say to the players, the beauty of cricket is if you're playing well, the challenge then is to back it up the next game. The beauty of it is if you lose the previous game, you have another chance to rectify it the next game. So the challenge for us is going to is to start again against Holland and at 0-0. Thanks.